Hi there, welcome to this video where we will be attempting the Cambridge ICT 0417 syllabus 2023 May paper 3 variation 1. Okay, so this is the paper that I will be attempting in this video. Okay, so over here in the background I have the question paper opened up. Okay, so this is the paper that we will be attempting. And for this particular paper, there is only one data file that you will be required to have. And let me quickly show you that particular data file. The data file is called J31 weather. This is the data file that you will be requiring in order to complete this paper. So let's get started over here. Okay, let's get moving over here. And over here, they mentioned the same thing again. You need this particular data file or source file in order to complete this paper. So moving on to task 1, where we are supposed to create an evidence document. So here it says to create a new word process document. Make sure your name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page of this document, which means you need to either enter it in the header or in the footer, so it appears on every single page. And then you're supposed to save this document as J2331 evidence, followed by your center number and your candidate number. Okay, so let's go into our folder. Okay, and let's right click on our folder. Let's say new, and we want a new Word document. The name of this Word document is going to be called J2331, followed by my candidate number and then my center number. So I'm going to open it up, and immediately I'm going to go into the header. And in the header, so it's still loading. So I'm going to double click. This is my header area. I'm going to double click over here. Enter. What am I supposed to enter? Okay, make sure your name, center number, and candidate number. So your name, candidate number, and your center number. Okay. So I have inserted in the header. My work in the header is done. So I'm going to click on close the header and footer. Right. Moving on to the next part. So this entire task 1 is done now. Now we move on to task 2. So when we move on to task 2, it says over here, you are going to create a spreadsheet to calculate and display weather data about 3 towns called Amata, Bingshan, and Shelsme. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. Okay, but these are 3 towns that you will be working on. Okay, so open and examine the file j31weather.csv in your spreadsheet software. So let's open that file up. So j31.weather, let's open it up. So here you go. This is the Excel file that I have opened up, and over here you can see different dates, and this is for this particular town, this is for another town, and this is for another town. Okay, right. What do we do next? It says over here, save the spreadsheet with the file name weather, followed by your center number, your candidate number. Okay, so let's do that. File, save as, and click on browse. So make sure you're in the same folder. So I am in the same folder. I'm supposed to save this as weather, candidate number, and then my center number. And also please do not save it in CSV format. Save it as an Excel workbook format, because if you do save it as a CSV format, when the examiner checks your file later on, he will not be able to see the formulas that you have inserted. Okay, so do not keep it in CSV format, change it to Excel. The save as type should be Excel workbook. Okay, so that the formulas would be visible for the examiner to check. Okay, please make sure you change this. Okay, so I'm going to click on save. And now my file has been saved under a different name, under a different type. If you come into my folder, you can see it's over here. Okay, it didn't appear yet. I think it's still appearing. Okay, now it has appeared. Okay, right, we are good to go. So now it says over here, place in the footer left aligned automated file name with no file path. Okay, so I'm going to go into the footer right now. So I'm going to go into insert, and here we have text, then header and footer. For some of you guys, header and footer would be directly visible over here. However, for me, I have to come inside text to get header and footer. Okay, so right now I'm in the header, and you can see over here inside the header and footer tab, inside the header and footer tab, there's a button that will directly take me to the footer. Go to footer. So in the footer, I have to left align, which is over here. I need to insert the file name. So inside header and footer, we have file name button. So I put the file name. Next, what do I need? Right align your name, center number, and candidate number. So let's go back. Right align your name, candidate number, and your center number. So that's also done. Then it says, okay, so now we need to do some formatting. So I'm going to change the view. I'm going to come out of this header and footer. So I'm going to click on a cell, and I'm going to go back into normal view. Now, while you are inside the footer, normal view wouldn't work. You will have to click on a cell, then normal view works. So now you can click on normal view, and now you're back in normal view. Okay, I would highly recommend you work in normal view. Okay. Right. Now over here it says format rows 1 to 17 of the spreadsheet to look like this. So you can see over here, we'll do whatever we can. Okay, so you can see row 1 to A1 to D1 has been merged. A1 to D1, home, merge and center. You can see it has a gray color fill. So let's put a gray fill. Okay, the font size is much bigger. They haven't told us the exact sizes, so we will have to, work on it. So I'll make it slightly bigger, maybe size 16, italic it, make it italic. Okay, make these also bigger. Okay, right. Maybe make it bold as well. Okay, right. Then over here, we have borders, January, February, we have borders over here. So I'm going to put borders over here. Then over here also we have borders. Okay, and you can see this column, the text is wrapped. You can see over here, you can see the text is wrapped over here. So I'll do exactly that. Okay, something like this. I'll click over here and I'll say wrap text, which means inside the same cell, send it into multiple lines. Okay, that's what we do, wrap text over here. And you can see over here, this is right aligned. This is right aligned. Let's do that. Right align. This also right aligned. These are center aligned and bold. So let's do that. Center aligned, bold. This column is slightly bigger. Okay, this is better. Okay, then over here, again, we have some filling to do. Okay, so from here to here, I'm going to center align them, middle it, put a fill, make it size 14, bold all of them. Okay, that looks better, italic it as well. Okay. Then over here also we need to bold it, center it, middle it. Then you can see wrap text has been applied. Can you see sunshine hours in the next line, millimeters in the next line, knots in the next line? So let's apply wrap text to this. Can you see I have selected these values? Sorry, I have selected these values and I'm going to say wrap text, which means I want the text to go into multiple lines within the same cell. So sunshine hours, we can make them smaller, something like this. Okay. And if we see, okay, so Amarta has been merged across 3 columns. Okay, so this is merged, merge and center. This is merge and center. This is merge and center. Okay, you can see the dates are all left aligned. Okay, so let's do that. Select, and then I'm going to go to right. I'm going to press the shift key and click on. Now I have clicked on the first cell. I have clicked on the first date. Now I'm going to press shift and click on the last date. So they all get selected, and I'm going to say left align all of them. Okay, so that is also done. Okay, we can make this a little more small, I think, or maybe slightly bigger. Okay, that looks better. We need to put borders for all of them. So from here all the way up to here, we need borders. So we put borders and all these numbers are right aligned. So that's good. Yeah, I think I have pretty much done everything that needs to be done. Okay, I hope I have not missed out on anything. It seems like I have done everything that needs to have been done. Okay, right. So apply the formatting. We have done this. Cells in row 1 and 13 must be merged and center aligned. Cells in row 1 and 13. So that also we have done with a 16-point font. So I think here we put 16, but here we didn't put 16. Let's make this also 16. Okay, that's better. And cells in the range A6 to C11 must be merged as shown. A6 to C11. Okay, so we have, we need to merge from ABC, no? Okay, so we'll do that. ABC, we have to merge this as 1, merge this as 1, merge these as 1. Okay, we have to merge these. Okay, and these all need to be right aligned. So we can make them a lot smaller now. That's going to be a problem. Slightly smaller. Okay, slightly bigger, be better. And we need borders from here to here. There you go. That's also done. Okay, we can make this, I think, a little more smaller, maybe. Okay, right. So moving on then, print your spreadsheet showing the values. Make sure the page orientation is landscape. Okay, so we need to print the spreadsheet showing the values. So I'm going to select from here to here. And the first thing I need to do is I need to make sure it is landscape. So page layout, orientation, change it to landscape. Okay, so we have changed it to landscape. Next is the contents of all cells are fully visible and can be easily read. The row and column headings are displayed. So I'm going to come into page layout, column headings. Here we have headings now. Right now they're only visible in they're only visible on our screen. I want them to be also visible in my printout. So I'm going to say print also enable. Now I'm going to press Control P. So in Control P, you can see the headings are visible. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4 is visible. All your data is also visible. Okay, so from over here, you can choose your printer. Have they told it should fit one A4 paper? They haven't told that. So no worries. Right now it's going into 3 pages. So no problem. You can go ahead and print because they have not told it should fit one A4 paper. That hasn't been mentioned. Okay. Right. Let's move on to the next part then. Let's move on to the next part. Over here it says place in cells B3 to D3 formula to calculate for each town the average hours of sunshine for January rounded to one decimal place. Place in cells B3 to D3. So B3 to D3. B3 to D3, we need to find the average hours of sunshine per month for each city. Okay, so what we're going to do is, so for Amata, you can see this is the sunshine hours on 1st January, 2nd January, 3rd January. So I need to find the average of this entire area. Okay, this is only for the month of January, right? Only for the month of January. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say equal average, open brackets, and I'm only going to select sunshine for January, which is from here all the way up to here, up to 31st January. Then I'm going to close brackets. Okay, shall I read my formula? So from B15 to B45. Okay, so that's it. Enter. And I need to round it up to one decimal place. As the question paper said, one decimal place. Okay, so if I come to the home tab over here, you can see I can decrease my decimal and bring it down to one decimal place. There you go. And I'm going to replicate this formula for the remaining 3 cities. Okay, I'm not going to do them individually. So when I replicate, what happens is we're going to have a problem because when I replicate, the address will then change to C15. I don't want it to be C15. I want it to be E15. So I think I'll have to manually do it myself. Okay, so equal average from here. Okay, from here all the way up to where is January. I'm pressing shift and I'm going to click over here. Okay, is that 31st January? That is 31st January. Okay, so do not forget to close your brackets. Enter. Once again, reduce the decimal. And then for the next city as well, equal average, open brackets. From here, press shift, go all the way to 45, which is over here. Okay, and close brackets, 45, close brackets, enter. There you go. Once again, decrease the decimal. Okay, so that's also done. Right. The next thing that we need to do is place in cells B4 to D4 to calculate for each town the average hours of sunshine for the month of February. Okay, so now we need to do for February. So I'm going to say again equal average. And now from February, so February starts from over here, from here all the way down to the end. Okay, so do not forget to close your brackets. Okay, enter. Once again, reduce the decimal. There you go. Here also the same thing, average, open brackets. From here, sorry, is this the correct column? No, this is the correct column. Okay, from here all the way up to here. So close brackets. And we are going to decrease it to, okay. And the same for this city, equal average, open brackets. From where does February start? February starts from over here. We come all the way down here. Close brackets, enter. And we come and decrease the decimal. Okay, so that's done. Right. Next, what do we have? Next, it says place in cells D6 to D8 formula to calculate the total number of days that it rained in each of the three towns. In each of the three towns, the total number of days that it rained. So D6 to D8. Okay. So in Amata, how many days did it rain? So over here you can see how many days. So here it rained, here it didn't rain. 0 means it didn't rain. Here it rained, here it didn't rain. So we need to use a formula that can count the cells that are above 0. You get my point? We need to count the cells that are above 0 in this particular column. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a function called COUNTIF. It will only count the cell if it is more than 0. So I'm going to come to insert function and I'm going to search for COUNTIF. Okay, so I got COUNTIF. And what is my range? My range is from here for this particular city, Amata. It's from C15 all the way down to which one? To C73. And my criteria is count it if it's more than 0, greater than 0. Count it only if it is greater than 0. So when I say OK over here, it tells me it has rained. So there are 35 cells that have a value of more than 0, which means it has rained for 35 days. From 1st January to 28th February in the city of Amata, it has rained for 35 days. Now we'll have to do the same for Bikshan as well. So we come again, insert function, count if, from where to where? From here all the way up to here. And what is my criteria? Check if it's more than 0. So you can see in this city, it has rained for 23 days. In Shelsme, we again take count if. Our range is from where? Our range is from here all the way up to here. And our criteria is check if it's more than 0. So now it is telling us that in this city, it has rained for 35 days. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next question. It says over here, place in cell D9 a formula to calculate the number of days with more than 7.5 millimeters of rain in Amata. Okay, so more than, that's heavy rain. Okay, so once again, we use the same function. We can use, count if, wherever it is more than 7.5, count it. Okay, so again, we can take insert function, count if. Okay, the range is from where? So we're only checking Amata from here to here. And we are looking for greater than 7.5. If I'm not mistaken, is it 7.5? Yes, 7.5. Okay. So we say more than 7.5. And so how many days are having heavy rain? In Amata, 10 days have had heavy rain. Okay. Right. Next, what do we have? Place in cell D10 a formula to calculate the average wind speed in Amata in January, round up to the nearest knot. Knot is the unit. Okay. So only for January. So again, we can use average equal average and the wind speed only for January. So we start from here. We come all the way up to here. Where is January ending? January is ending here. We can close brackets now. Enter. And they have told us to round it up to the nearest knot. So let's round it up. So no decimal places at all. Okay, so it becomes 15. Then what do we have next? Place in cell D11 a formula to calculate the number of days. Calculate the number of days with a wind speed of less than 5 knots in Amata in January. So place in cell D11 a formula to calculate the number of days with a wind speed of less than 5 knots in Amata. Okay, so we need to count the cells that have a wind speed of less than 5. Once again, we are going to use the COUNTIF function. Okay, so again, we'll come here. COUNTIF, from where to where? We're only interested in Amata and January. Okay, so from here to here. To here, okay, from D15 to D45, only January and only the city Amata. We are looking for less than 5, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, less than 5. Okay, right. So we say, okay, and how many days is that? That is 5 days. Okay, so far quite simple. Then it says save your spreadsheet. So we click on save. And then it tells us to print our spreadsheet showing the formula. So I'm going to go into page layout and I'm going to say formulas. I'm going to go into formulas and I'm going to say show formulas. So now you can see the formulas are all clearly visible. However, the columns, some columns are not big enough. Some are too big. Is it clear? So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to click over here. Now all the columns have got selected, and I'm going to double click on the width of one of the columns. Can you see where my cursor is? I'm going to double click on the width of one of the columns, so they all auto adjust to fit content. Okay, right. Then what do we do next? The row and column headings are displayed. So let's come into page layout. Headings should be printed. Page orientation is landscape. So orientation landscape. And the contents of all cells are clearly visible and can be read. Okay, so that's good enough. Now let's select our values. Control P. And we can go ahead and print this. Okay. Right. Then moving on. It says over here, print your spreadsheet showing the values. So now we're going to print showing the values. So we are going to go back. We're going to switch off formula view. Right now we are showing formulas. Now we're going to click on this and switch it off. Once again, now the columns are too small. So let's click over here, select all the columns and double click on the width of one of the columns. So they all auto fit. Okay, so now all the content is clearly visible. Okay. Then it says, make sure only cells A1 to D11 are displayed. So all the others we need to hide. So from 12 until the bottom, I'm going to hide them. So I have selected those cells. Okay, did you see how I selected it? I'm going to keep the cursor here and then pull it down. Okay, now these columns are selected. And then I'm just going to right click and say hide. So now those cells are hidden. Okay, they're not deleted, they are hidden. Page orientation is portrait now. So let's come into page layout, orientation, let's make it portrait. Okay, that's done. It fits on a single page and the contents of all cells are fully visible and can be easily read. Okay, so let's select it. Let's press Control P and it's fitting one page. Okay, it's definitely fitting one page over here. You can see, you can choose your printer from over here and then you can say print. Okay, right, that's also done. Then it says, in cell E3, calculate the total fall for shelves me for January. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to unhide the rows. Okay, these rows all I'm going to unhide. Can you see my cursor between 11 and 74? I'm just going to right click over there and I'm going to say unhide. Oh, they're all appearing one by one. That's a really bad idea. Let's double click, double click, double click, double click. Let's keep double clicking until they all appear. Okay, so a little more to go. I'm just double clicking and unhiding all of them. Okay, one more to go, one more to go, one more to go. Okay, that's it. Now I have got all my rows back up. Now what I'm supposed to do over here is in cell E3, over here, I'm supposed to calculate the total rainfall for Shelsme for January. Okay, the total rainfall. Okay, so equal sum. I need to add them up. And so Shelsme rainfall is over here for January, right? They told me for January. Okay, so from here all the way, I'm going to press the shift key and come and stop. Where is rainfall? It's in this column. So I'm going to come and stop exactly over here. Okay, close brackets thereafter. So the total amount is coming to 79.46. And then in E4, calculate the total rainfall for Shelsme in February, for February. Okay, so over here again, equals sum, open brackets. So in February, where does February start from? February starts from here, okay, all the way up to here. And then we close brackets. Okay, so it is 94.14, right. Then it says, create an appropriate chart to compare the average hours of sunshine with the total amount of rainfall for the months of January and February in Shelsme. Okay, create an appropriate chart to compare the average hours of sunshine with the total amount of rainfall. Okay, so what we can do is we need to first select the correct values now. So we need to select January, February. I'm going to press Control, select the average hours of sunshine and also select the total hours of rainfall. How did I select them? I select them using Control. First select these two, then press Control, select these two, then select these two, all while holding the Control key. Now let's go into insert. Let's go into column chart, or we can go into recommend the charts. And which one do you think looks the most understandable over here? I think this looks somewhat understandable. Okay. So let's take these two, okay, and let's say okay. Okay, so we have our chart over here. We will have to label them properly, which I will do shortly. So set the month as the category axis. Okay, the month has to be the category axis. It is already January and February, you can see over here. Set the average hours of sunshine as the primary value axis, and the rainfall as the secondary value axis. Okay, so over here, what have they told us? Average hours of sunshine should be the primary value axis and the rainfall as the secondary value axis. So I think the chart that we have drawn may not work with the question that they have asked us. Let's change the chart type. Okay, let's delete this chart. Let's select our data again. Okay, let's go for a type of a line chart. Okay, so January, February, then we select Shellsme, then we select the total amount of rain, total number of days it has rained. Sorry, the total amount it has rained. Okay, and let's go into insert. Let's go into the line chart. Okay, and let's go to recommended charts, and let's go with this one and say okay. Now over here, what they had asked us over here is they had told us set the average hours of sunshine as the primary value axis. Average hours of sunshine. So average hours of sunshine is the blue series, right? Okay, so what we're going to do over here is we are going to click on this chart. We are going to come to the chart options, and we're going to come to series number 1, because series number 1 is the average sunshine. And over here, I'm going to click on this option, okay, the series option, and I'm going to say make this the primary or secondary. We make this as the primary value axis. So we say we want this to be the primary value axis. And then series number 2, which is going to be the total, what do you call total what? Total rainfall, okay? I'm gonna make that the secondary axis, okay? Something like this, okay? So this is exactly what they wanted, okay? Right. Then it goes on to say set the rainfall axis to have a maximum value of 100 millimeters. Rainfall axis. So the rainfall axis is the which one? Rainfall axis is the yellow, the series 2. Okay, series 2 is the rainfall axis. Okay, so we click on this, and over here the options that we want to set over here are what is it? We want to, let's click on this. So we click on this, and we go into this area, and vertical value axis. Okay, so which one is this one? Talking about this. Yeah, vertical value axis, which is over here. Sorry, I'm in the wrong one, which is over here. Axis options. So where do we start at? The maximum value of 100 millimeters, maximum. So it's already having a maximum value of 100 millimeters only. So that is also sorted. Fully label the chart. So let's label our chart. We can say average hours of sunshine versus total amount of rain for shells. Okay, so let's make it bold and underlined. Okay, if possible, let's see if we can axis titles. So this will be month. Okay, this will be average rain, average hours of sunshine, okay, and here it will be total amount of rainfall, total amount of rain. Okay, right. And could we also name these? Okay, so Should be able to change the name over here as well. Legend options. Over here, I should be able to change the text over here. I can't seem to find that option which allows me to. So what we can do is let's try this method. Let's right click over here at series one, and let's say change select data. And over here, so series one represents the average hours of sunshine. Okay, so let's edit it. Let's say average hours of sunshine. Okay, and this will be total rainfall. Okay, so that's also done. Okay, so we have labeled all the parts of our chart, and place a copy of your chart in your evidence document. So let's copy the chart. Let's click on a blank area in the chart, Control C. Let's come into our evidence document, Control V. So the chart has been pasted. And then with that, we have come on to the end of the spreadsheet question. So next we move on to task 3, which is to do with the web page. Okay. So over here, it's a very short question that we have over here, which we can get started on now. Okay. So over here says, so I think most probably we will be using Dreamweaver in order to do this, but let's go through. So initially, we are supposed to create a CSS style sheet, create CSS to be added to an external style sheet to meet these specifications. Okay, so let's open up Dreamweaver. Okay, so I'm going to use Dreamweaver, and in Dreamweaver, I'm going to take a CSS file. Okay, so over here, I'm going to take CSS, not HTML. I want a CSS file, and over here, what are the properties that I do need? Number one, it tells me the font for H1, H2, H3, and paragraph styles. Okay, so let's do that. I hope you can see H1, comma H2, comma H3, comma paragraph needs to have the following style. So what's a style? Displays the font Calibri. Okay, so font family, the font family should be Calibri. Okay, Calibri, and one second. Family should be Calibri. If Calibri is not available, Helvetica New. Okay, Helvetica. How do you spell it? Neue. Okay, and if that is not available, sans serif font, default sans serif. So I'll just say sans serif. Okay, right. So end of this. Okay. Then next, what do we have? Please place a copy of your CSS in your evidence document. Now they haven't told me to save this. Is it clear? They haven't told me to save it, so I'm just going to copy and paste this. Okay, so copy this, Control C, come into my evidence document, which is over here, and paste it over here. Right. The next, what do we have? Create all the head sections of a web page to meet these specifications. Title for the web page is weather data. So I'll take a new HTML document, file, new, HTML, create. And over here, the first thing is the title should be weather data. So here we have the title. It's not untitled document. It should be changed to weather data. The next thing is the meta tags. The character encoding should be ISO 8859. So normally it uses UTF-8. No, normally the character set is UTF-8. Okay, so we are going to change this to ISO-88591, 8859-1. Okay, if you're confused by this character set, there is a bit of an explanation over here. The character set defines the characters that this web page can display. There are different types of character sets, each accommodating a different, what do you call, number of characters. Okay, so do check it out on Google. Do try this, to type this out, character set. Okay, and the UTF-8 is one type of character set, is another type of character set, okay? Or you might have learned, the ASCII code and the Unicode, you might have learned these, okay? It's to do with them, okay? Right, then moving on to the next one, it says set the name of the author to Tawara Web, followed by a space, then by your name, and then your name. So we're going to put one more meta tag, okay? So we're going to open one more meta tag, and in this meta tag, we want the name is going to be equal to author, okay, and the content over here, the content for the author is going to be equal to what? Tawara Web followed by your name, space, and then your name, okay? So this is also done, okay? Right. Another meta tag we need for the description. Description should be weather data for the Tawara region. So we open one more meta tag. And this time, what we are interested is, the name that we are interested in is description. We want the description. And the content here, the content for the description is going to be, equal to weather data for the Tawara region. So that is also done. Okay. Then next, what do we need? Set the viewport to the width of the device being used with an initial scaling of 2. So it's going to be twice this thing. Okay. So we'll say again meta. Okay. And this time what we are interested is the viewport. So viewport is over here. And over here, the content is going to be equal to, okay, initial scale, as I remember, is how we get it, is equal to 2.0. Okay, I hope I'm correct. Please do give me a second. Let's quickly check this out on W3 Schools, because I could be wrong. Okay, HTML meta tags. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not very sure about the viewport. Let's quickly check this out so that we have got it correct for sure. HTML meta tags. And so for the viewport, what do we say? Probably in exam, you wouldn't be allowed to do this, but so we say name viewport, and then we say content equal initial. Okay, so what I did was correct. Viewport content initial scale dash initial scale equal to, so correct. What I have done is correct. Okay, so I can close it. Okay, but you can please go through this, try and make use of these resources while practicing. Okay, but just remember in the exam, obviously, you will not be able to use any of these. Okay, and then we also need appropriate keywords. Okay, 2 appropriate keywords. Okay, so let's do that also. Let's open up meta tags, meta. Okay, what are we looking at? We're looking at keywords right now. And let's have 2 keywords for this. And we'll have one is maybe weather, and another one can be Tawara, for example. Okay, they haven't told us, we can use anything that we want. Okay, do not forget to close your meta tag. Okay, and then what do we do next? Set the default target window to blank if a new web page is open within this web page. Okay, so all hyperlinks in this web page should open in a new tab. That's the default type. Okay, so we say base target. Okay, base, and here we have target. Okay, by default, all links will open in a new tab. Okay, blank. Okay, so do not forget to do that. We don't need to save this. They haven't told us about saving. What we do need to do next is place a copy of your HTML source in your evidence document. So let's come over here, Control A, Control C, come into our evidence document, Control V. Okay, so the code has been pasted over here. Then moving on, it says over here, make sure your name, center number, and candidate number appears on every page of your evidence document. Save and print your evidence document. Okay, so it's appearing on every document. I'm going to press Control P, and I'm then going to choose the printer from over here, and I'm going to click on print. So with that, we have come to the end of this paper as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's a very, very simple paper over here, short paper. Okay, so with this, we have come to the end of this particular paper as well. I hope you have benefited from this video. Okay, all the very best in practicing the others as well. Okay, take care.